Welcome! I'm so glad you're joining me. For those of you who are just starting, the Orca Swim Show is a weekly show where I bring both information about how the brain works when embarking on change, especially something that is fearful, and we take it to the lab of the swimming pool. After 30 years of teaching in the pool, it's time to hop out of the water and share how the learning works in and out of the water in the same way. The water is a perfect lab to test the learning process because you get fast and immediate feedback along with very satisfying rewards when you focus on the needs of the brain-body connection and not just a list of skills. Then you can obtain lasting and satisfying results. Our pool is a warm 92. Let's hop in and go from regret and missing out to action and freedom.
Tip number 1, don't try and talk with your equipment on. Okay, just kidding. I think you'll be able to get that one on your own. I'm Corey Micah, owner of Orca Swim School. We teach adults how to be free, safe, and confident in deep water. Welcome to our 10 tips about snorkeling to help you create the kind of snorkeling experience you've always dreamed of. These tips are the foundational principles that are needed to go out and create a fun and easy experience. All right, tip number 1. It's all about the fun. What is fun for you? Not for them or them or them, right? Remember what your mom said? Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean you have to do it too. To make a good experience, you really want to just stop and look into yourself and find a quiet place and say, what would be fun for me? Now, it's most likely you're looking at the whole big enchilada and saying, oh my gosh, that's too much. So you want to take that and start paring it down. Okay, let me take away layer after layer after layer till you find a small enough chunk that feels like, ooh, okay, I could do that. I'm curious there. That would be fun and interesting. That doesn't sound too scary. It's kind of like the idea of how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one biteful at a time. You can't look at the whole elephant. Gotta make it into a tiny, tiny part. Find what's fun for you, and then guess what? You're gonna have fun. Tip number 2, be safe. Something can't be fun if you don't feel safe. If you feel out of control or worried or anxious about this or that, it's not really that much fun, right? And it needs to be safe for you. Give yourself whatever it is you need to be safe. Wear a life jacket. I don't care what everybody else is doing. If that's what you need to do, put that life jacket on, feel good about it. You're taking charge for yourself. It's your vacation. You want to have fun. You don't want to have to worry. Put the life jacket on. Go into a cove that's real protected from waves and real shallow where you can put your hands on the ground and you can experiment. Here's a little insider tip if you're in Hawaii. I've learned, ask for where the Kiki beaches are. This is the kids' beaches. These are good beginner beaches to start at. Do whatever it is for you to be safe. Now, don't take the word of somebody else. Oh, trust me, just do what I'm doing. Stick with me, I'll keep you safe. You know intuitively in here, do I trust this person? Is this really true? It's gotta feel safe to you. Stay holding on to the back of the boat if you go out with a group. Just hang out there. If it's fun and you feel safe, it'll be an amazing experience. Tip number 3, understand your equipment, this stuff. If your first time putting on this equipment is when you're floating on the boat at Captain Cook's Cove in Hawaii, it's going to be too much. Have you ever had the experience when you go to learn something new and they're giving instructions and you're thinking, oh my gosh, why are they talking so fast? Because you're trying to catch up on all the different things. I know when I took my snorkeling experience, I felt like that, and I'm an expert swimmer. I have no problem with water, deep water, but it can be a lot of information. So before you head out to where the big kids are doing it or something like that, grab some equipment, go rent it the day before, take it to the pool, take it to a little cove that feels really easy, figure out how it works, or take one of our online classes and we'll teach you how it works. Tip number 4, start with what you know. This is the easy place to start. If you know how to swim with goggles on, wear your goggles, check out just the snorkel. You do need to have your nose plugged if you're going to breathe through the snorkel, because you'll breathe through your nose too. Or just do the mask, or just the fins, or just get in the water. Find out, start with the easiest denominator, something that you already know. Check that out first. You know, go to where it's easy and simple. You don't want to be figuring out mask, fins, snorkel, oh, waves, animals, currents, oh my. One piece at a time. Overwhelm is not fun. Remember rule number 1, keep it fun. Tip number 5, use your sense of feel to figure things out. When you reach your hand towards a stove, your brain is going to tell you, ah, hot, pull away. But it's actually your sense of feel in your fingers that gives you the true information. This is where you want to go when you're learning to snorkel, learning to swim, learning anything physical. Walking over rough terrain, you use your sense of feel. Your brain might go in overload with worry and concerns and the future and the past and all these other things. You gotta bring yourself to the right now by feeling. Oh, I feel when I got this snorkel in here, I can actually breathe. My brain might say, out of air, but wait a second, let me see. Breathing. Oh, air. I like that. Tip number 6, go slow. Get yourself on Aloha time or Jamaica time or whatever warm, breezy, tropical place you're in. You're there to enjoy, to have fun, to relax. Not speed along and get it all right now and do everything. Hang tight. When you let yourself just slow it down, bring it in, check it out. Things are easier. It's more relaxed. You can enjoy what you're doing. Your questions or concerns can come up. You can take time to fix them, to ask about them, to ponder them, to get curious about them. Being slow internally is always a good place to be. Tip number 7. Use your lion voice that comes from deep within. Wait a second, stop! Too much information. I need to slow down. This isn't fun. You have a right to speak up and say what you need. When you follow the previous tip of going slow, you'll start to feel out, what do I need? Hang on. I need to just be here at the back of the boat. I need to wear a life jacket. I need to, whatever, fill in the blank. But use that lion voice. The little kid inside of you that says, oh, please keep me safe, is going to thank you. This is your job. This is your grown-up job to speak up. Nobody else is going to know what it feels like to you inside, but you do. Speak up. Advocate for yourself. Use that lion voice to make it your trip. Tip number 8, give yourself grace. You don't have to get it all. You don't have to do all the this and the that. You just have to do what is fun and works for you. If you get into the water and you put the mask on and you see 3 fish and you're slow inside and present and you hang out with Nemo and just zen out with Nemo swimming around, isn't that a much better experience than if you're trying to keep up with everybody else and trying to see this over here and that over there? No, just give yourself the grace to say, I did the things that were good for me. And this is good. I'm just going to really sit back and enjoy the step that I'm at right now. I could wish and hope for something else, but that's all right. I wasn't ready for those things yet. But by giving yourself all this healing grace to be you, all those other things get to come too. Start at your place. Be gracious. Tip number 9. Believe in your swimmerness. Huh? Could you be a born swimmer? For half the adult population who is afraid in water, in deep water, 46% in pools, 64% in oceans, you don't feel like a swimmer, but there's nothing different about you than there is about me or maybe Michael Phelps. You just didn't get the steps necessarily, but there is this born swimmer in you just waiting to come out. I think even by watching the snorkeling thing, you're thinking, okay, maybe, I don't know, I could go out there and be terrible. I don't know if I'm a swimmer or not, but I don't want to miss out because you are a swimmer. It's in you. Just wanting to peek out. Treat it like a little kid, like you would treat a little kid learning to walk. Just give her all the grace and safety and space she needs to be able to discover. Your swimmersness is in there. Just needs a little bit of help finding those steps. All right, tip number 10. Here's the grand poobah of them all. Don't panic. Are you feeling kind of panicky with me just saying it? I'm kind of feeling that way. When something unexpected happens, the first thing someone says is don't panic. Keep your calm. Don't lose it. Don't freak out. Lose your mind. Because it puts you at risk. All Learn to Swim programs should start with this question in mind. Are we teaching you how panic works? Do you, the swimmer, know how to be in charge of if I'm calm or if I'm panic? Do I know how to start from calm, stay at calm, know if I'm moving away from it, and make it the priority to bring myself back to calm? This way, panic isn't on the table. It is the biggest risk in the water, is losing it. It's not the waves, it's not the animals, it's not equipment failure, it's panic. If you lose it, then you need somebody else to help you, something outside force. We don't want that to happen to you. There is a way, there is a system that you can learn to stay in charge. In charge of the waves? No, but in charge of whether or not you go to panic. This puts you in the safety seat. If you'd like to know more about how to do that, more about the mechanics of the snorkeling, and more about how to be free in deep water, come join us. Our classes online or our classes in person. We'd love to show you how. Have a fabulous trip, have fun, be safe, and enjoy your experience. Thanks.
Thanks for listening. Are you ready to take some action? 3 ways to the freeway. Subscribe, join a free webinar, get started online where we break down the steps, making them simple, and we support you along the journey. So maybe you'll join us in Hawaii. Jump on over to orcaswimschool.com.